2023. It is doable, he insists. And do not forget our diaspora and of the moment. Now, this is your favorite program, The Diaspora, and I am Koinsola Adetumbi. Please stay with us. David Kunle Adeonju was received at the Eagle Square in Abuja by staff and management of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, led by its chairman CEO, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa. The Eagle Square was agog with super raving sounds emitted from bikes led by the world record breaker Kunle Adeonju. Enjoy.
Thank you, and also thank you for making us proud as Nigerians, for again putting Nigeria on the map of the world and letting the world know that we are there. We are the best in all we do. Let's appreciate ourselves. Thank you for your charity work. You are doing this to eradicate polio, and I want to commend the Rotary Club. I've always been in the problem of charity. So we as a commission will do everything to support you in your charitable activities, and we hope that everybody will contribute. Every one of us, one thing or the other, to make a difference. Nigeria will be better. So everything is about government. So for us, as a diaspora, we want to say how proud we are of you, and that is who we are. Nigeria, we're all over the world. Hardworking, energetic, determined, being the best of we do. We're not frustrated. And then I want to thank all you bikers. You definitely want to be a biker.
Yes,
and I think it's a power. It was very exciting. This kind of freedom of being able to do anything. But I pray that you all do so. Wherever you find yourself. And really appreciate it. And Mr. Lionheart, and my brother, Mr. Kunle, we're proud of you. And well done.
we are so proud of him because he has worked Nigeria before. That's a battle that has been taking on for a very, very long time. For many years at Rotary Convention, we are so ashamed of ourselves. Each time they bring out the countries that we are polio endemic, and we see 4 countries: Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, and Nigeria. Yes. And we are so disappointed and so angry about that. And today we are so happy that polio has been eradicated from Nigeria. Yeah. And not only that, we want to keep it at 0. What he has done was just to spoil everybody, to make sure that we do whatever is necessary to make sure that we keep it at 0, that no child in Nigeria again will suffer from polio. And that's what we are looking forward to. We are so appreciative of government for today, recognizing him for what he has done. And we will do what we can as Rotarians to make sure that this continues.
For me, polio is personal fight. And why I say personal fight, when I was growing up as a primary school, my friend that sat next to me in the class had the bike. And when we know those things that kids normally do, like jumping up and down, riding bicycles, he couldn't do it. He just stand by the sideline. Not because he didn't want to, but because he was limited. So starting we lost the guy 2 years ago. Right? And at the warrior, I knew the family went through a lot of things because polio didn't do to achieve it. And I said, there's something I can do to make sure another child somewhere. But the real big adventure, 3 years ago, I plan to ride from Lagos to Trump. I want to do the Tibetan beach. It's about 16,000. And people who have been there, they will tell you that in bed, that the way that God did it. And why do they say that? Because of the high level of purity of everything you have in the place. I want to experience that purity. And after that, I drop my bike and I go to that. So that's what
Leaving the Eagle Square, the NIDCOM team led the over 40 bikers to the presidential villa, where they were warmly welcomed by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Jadi balaclava. But more for a very worthy cause, which is the end polio crusade. And I must say to you that polio, the whole polio campaign is one that was taken quite seriously. The federal government of Nigeria, especially in the past couple of years, we've taken it very seriously indeed, which explains why now we have an end. But as I'm sure the DG will let you know, the district governor will let you know, polio is a very crafty disease, and I think you've also pointed that out. You know, when you think you conquered it, if you are not careful, if you are complacent, it comes back very quickly. Which is why we must keep a sustained attack against it. And what we've done at the National Economic Council, which is a meeting of the governors of the 36 states, and I have the privilege of chairing that meeting every month, is that we've also made it one of the very central public health issues, which means that almost every year, and sometimes even twice a year, we have a committee which deals with polio alone, the World Health Organization and several other organizations, including local organizations, who come and give us a report of the status of the drive against polio in the country. And so it keeps us well informed. So I think that this is an area where there's a lot of work, and I really want to commend again the Rotary International and Rotary Club for all the work that they're doing. And I think that this is something that we must continue to support, as well as other very significant public health issues. I'm glad to hear, of course, that that all of the bikers in our country are committed to various causes. I think that a very important thing is that we must remain focused on the issues that concern our country. Many people have complaints about Nigeria. We have, there's this wrong, there's that wrong, there's this wrong, there's that wrong. And we are the greatest critics of our country. But one thing we all agree on is the fact that these people who are called Nigerians are a special breed. No question at all. And we're very special. We're hardworking, we are exuberant, we're pushful. Can come up with that. Secondly, no other African, it's very rare for you to find an African who will take that kind of decision. You know? So I think that there's a lot in our country that we must be extremely proud of. And we must tell our own story, just as Kule has said, we must tell our story. Our story is worth hearing. And we must tell our story first to ourselves, because we need to get our self-esteem back as people. We must tell our stories to ourselves. We must understand who we are and what our strengths are. And I think that those of us like you who have a message to preach of unity must continue to do so. This country is strong, and this country is the way it is only because of very many parts that we are. Only because we are 200 million strong from everywhere. And all of us have capacity, all of us have everything that it takes to be, to excel. So we must stay together, we must stay united. And all of you who have come to do that have demonstrated the essence of who we are as Nigerians. We are a proud people, we are people who believe in excellence, we celebrate excellence, we want to excel in every way, and everywhere where we excel. So I want to congratulate you all, not just Kunle, who has done this fantastic thing, but to say to you all that we are extremely proud of the work that you're doing. We're extremely proud of you.
After the decorations and photo shoot, the bikers were treated to a seat out with Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo. It remains a day to be remembered for the London to Lagos biker and others. Many thanks Kunle Adeonju for making us super proud. Now let's join Boy Alinko for some messages.
Not so fast.
I'm tired. I want to take out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down. Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. You know, I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
Welcome back. If you must travel, travel legitimately. Now, the 2023 general elections are itching closer, and Nigerians in the diaspora are saying, well, give us a chance to vote. Now, take a listen to Ikechukwu Okafor as he reps on the issue.
Can we meet you, sir? Tell us a brief about yourself. Where you come from, where you are at the moment, what you do for a living.
I'm based in Germany,
Where in Germany, sir?
in Munich.
Munich.
Yes, I used to be based in Cologne. So that was where I actually studied. I lived there for a long time, but just, I think last year or so, I moved to Munich.
You have been in the diaspora for over 20 years, particularly in Germany. What motivated your move to Germany?
I went there actually to study, and also I was very young, so adventure, to learn new language, new culture, and I've always been fascinated by German, the technology, the people itself, their history. So I said, okay, it would be a good country to live in.
Okay. Tell us a little about yourself in German language.
Ich lebe in Deutschland oder beziehungsweise ich bin seit ungefähr 20 Jahren in Deutschland. Und ja.
Yes. Let's come to the issue. This issue has continuously come to the front burner. Issue of diaspora voting, especially as 2023 draws near. What's your take on diaspora voting?
Well, it's important because sometimes, like the old saying goes, he who pays his piper also should have a right to dictate the tone. So the diasporans, I think, minimum of about 20, just without being exaggerating, without wanting to exaggerate things, I think the diasporans transfer roughly about $30 billion yearly. So, and that is a large sum of money to reckon with. So, and not just the monetary aspect, I think they should also be given the right to express their views. I myself have been advocating for such thing for a very long time, and using the forums of the Nigerians in Germany and the Igbos in Germany. So to advocate and to enlighten people, we've met with the ambassador then to discuss it and convey our message to the federal government, because it's very important. Most countries, we have the means of doing it.
Some say diaspora voting will cost so much money and that we are not mature yet to do diaspora voting, or that, in fact, we are not just prepared to do diaspora voting. What's your take?
No, I strongly disagree with that. I strongly disagree, because if I, as a Nigerian living in Germany, if my passport expires, I have a possibility of getting a new passport. And I believe that the process of getting a new passport is even more complex
than just casting your vote. So all you have to do is just give criteria. If you're a Nigerian living in Germany, you should be registered either with the embassy or with a recognized Nigerian union. So that in that way you have the number of people living in a particular country. I'm always using Germany as my yardstick because that's where I live. That way you know the number of people living in the country. So that way it's easy. It's even easier to control the votes from diaspora. So if the fear is, okay, somebody might want to use that to do something that is not all that good, it's easier to control the votes coming from the diaspora. So I strongly disagree. It's very, very easy.
But meanwhile, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is ready. The legislature said it is not ready. It needs some technicalities, some constitutional issues. What is your take?
I don't think it's a big problem. If INEC, which is supposed to conduct the election and knows, in other words, they were the ones wearing the shoes, they know where it's supposed to pinch. So they should normally be the ones who say that we cannot do this because of technical issues. But they said they are ready. So the National Assembly coming up with the legalities of conducting elections in diaspora is something that could be arranged. They could just take up a sitting, talk about it, and then that's it. It could be arranged. But I don't even say, because sometimes we say things without citing or even quoting. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, so I can't say for sure where it is written in the Constitution. But I don't think the Constitution will prohibit any Nigerian living outside Nigeria from exercising his right as a Nigerian. So we live and die as Nigerians, so why can't we vote? We should be allowed to vote.
2023 is by the corner. Moving forward, what do you suggest?
The awareness, because sometimes not having the information or not being informed does not permit you making informed decisions. So the awareness should be created. If it's being talked about, the people in diaspora, the people back here home, if they sit down, everybody talk, and sometimes, like I said initially, maybe it's fear of the unknown. It's something new. It is everywhere in the world. Sometimes when things are new, people protest against it. But it does not mean you cannot. It's innovative. So, and it's not that innovative that we are doing something that has never been done anywhere before. It is a very common practice.
Thank you, Mr. Okafor. Now to our diaspora of the moment.
Our diaspora of the moment is Professor Abba Aji. Professor Abba Aji obtained his MBBS from the University of Maiduguri, Nigeria. He is a Fellow of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, Canada, Fellow Royal College of Psychiatrists, United Kingdom, Fellow of the American Psychiatric Association, and Fellow of the Royal Society of Medicine, United Kingdom. He obtained his master's degree in neuroscience from the University of Maastricht, Netherlands, and also a master's of business administration in healthcare management from the Smurfit Graduate School of Business, Dublin. Prior to this appointment, Professor Abba Aji was the medical lead for the Integrated Youth Services Initiative in Addiction and Mental Health in Edmonton, the Zone Facility Site Chief, Addiction Mental Health at the University of Alberta Hospital, and the Associate Chair of Psychiatry Clinical Affairs with the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry. He has numerous awards, recognitions, and over 70 peer-reviewed publications and book chapters. He was recently appointed as the Chief Medical Director of the prestigious Alberta Hospital, Edmonton, Canada. Professor Abba Aji is the first African to be appointed in this role. Congratulations, Professor Abba Aji. We celebrate you as our diaspora of the moment.
Thank you for staying all through the program. We hope it's been worth your while. And in case you have anything to share with us, please don't hesitate to do so as we expect feedback on our show. Remember, you can reach us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, on Instagram at NIDCOM_gov, on our YouTube page at NIDCOM_gov, on our Twitter page at NIDCOM_gov, and on our website at www.nidcom.gov.ng. You can also join us on DSTV at NTA Network and NTA International on Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. on NTA International on Friday at 3:30 a.m. on NTA International on Saturday at 11 a.m. and on NTA News 24 on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. And you can join us on WAP TV on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and on WTV on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. And you can join us on Ben TV London at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. See you next time.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Why Britain is using Nigeria, but that Britain that is using Nigeria, there's a proportion of mixture of propane also, because propane is highly inflammable. So you add 20% to make it to burn fine.
In this busy world, everyone wants faster means of doing things, but the issue is how many people are mindful of safety precautions in using liquefied gas to cook.
You know that basically it's leakages, depending on the particular gas you're using, the size of cylinder at which you're using. You know, we have like we have the direct burners, which are like the 3 kg, the 5 kg, and the 6 kg. They're the direct burners. If you can avoid leakages, it's okay. Very much okay, yeah.
It's safer, especially if the house is their own. It is safer to keep it outside and run a hose. There's what we call gas reticulation, whereby you can use copper wire to run your connections in the house. It is also very, very safe. It is good that you give, but we have 2 types of cylinder. We have composite and steel cylinder. Composite will never explode, so you can keep that one comfortably in your house. If there's any event of fire, it will just melt. That's why it's like a rubber, it's a fiber.
Today, it seems more people use gas cookers to cook. It is said to be a fast and efficient way to cook, and they come in different sizes.
Using gas is faster, but my husband does not like gas.
Why?
For so many reasons, getting house burned and every other thing, and you having a child going towards the gas. But when you are maybe that person has a grown-up children, is allowed to use gas. So I prefer the two.
Many people, they are afraid of using gas because they said it burns house, at least it's easy to catch light. I didn't believe so.
Some don't like using long hoses. Some don't like using long hoses. It is not allowed. You use a very short hose that is feasible and secured without joints. You don't join hose, because if you join hose, there will be incidents of leaks here and there. Also, these hoses are not allowed to overstay. At least if you use a hose 6 months or 1 year, you change. Whether it has leak or not, you have to change because it's weak already.
Cooking can be fun, but kitchen safety is priority. Think safety. Be extra careful while cooking.
total is a mustard seed. Then nurture it, water it, grow it into that tree in your rainforest.
And she already stands in front of you and asks me to picture.
One of the prevalent social issues in our society.
There are certain things you take that's good for you, at the same time there's a bad side.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to leave us with today?
Single Salisbury moment on
Our reality with Sky, 10:30 a.m. every Monday, and it repeats at 12 midnight.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed.
Is the network service of the NTA.
There is no greater job as being a mother than any other job on earth.
The woman is the mother of the murderer. The woman is also the mother of the peacemaker.
They must learn to say no to evil. Be involved in raising your children.
I'm so concerned that a lot of the children, our children in Nigeria, don't have access to good quality education. Their parents simply cannot afford it.
Good parenting is vital to nation building.
A woman is able to program a child to be who he should be.
Actually have to make an effort at home. It all begins at home.
There is this popular saying, monkey see, monkey do.
Parents make one child seem more important than the other.
Just because your mother was a drug addict or trafficked or on the streets or whatever, that does not shape who you are.
I want you to always remember that you are stronger than women. It is important for a woman to critically look at your environment, at your situation, and see what you can do to add value to yourself and add value to your family.
Don't be a victim. Be the player that wins.
I'm a teacher by profession. So I studied English, history, and I've had a bit of experience of teaching in the country. Just a few years before I traveled. I'm a mother of two. My eldest married. They're both adults. Motherhood journey. My father was then they used to say the agent of central bank, and he opened up to 4, 5, 6 central banks before he passed on. So we were in large, big houses. We had those living in the boys' quarters and those in the houses and just that. So with that and having cooks and everything around, where would I start learning how to do anything in the house? So really and truly but a time came in my lifetime when I had to do those things. Being in the boarding house got me to be able to do things myself. So really and truly with my profession, being a teacher has helped me a lot in that environment to bring up my children. And a disciplinarian. When you see my children today, a lot of people marvel and wonder. I gave birth to my children where they speak the languages. Marvel and wonder at how. Everyone here will confirm, anywhere that, and doubt the fact that they have come from London. In essence, right motherhood for me started from before I conceived my children. In essence, I started as a Christian placing those children in the presence of God and declaring before conceiving them what I believe God wants for their life. And you don't just declare without following up. You don't declare without taking action. When you declare and you just leave. So when they say in London, you don't smack your children, I did. I would say this anyway. I did. Each time from outside, when we're outside, I tell them, outside, you are Oyinbo. We're inside. You are Dudu, you are black. You are Nigerian. And with that, the culture of greeting, the culture of speaking the language, motherhood for me, getting up in the morning, the children have already washed the plate, the children have done all their chores, and we go to school together. I'm a Christian, and like I did say, you declare from before conceiving the children or even getting married and so on. And from when I gave birth to my children, when once it's 6 a.m. every day. When I say when they were babies, they actually as well participated in family devotion. No matter how they felt, they were not allowed to stay in bed. And that has helped my children to be able to adapt and grow up. The Bible says, teach your children the way they should go. And what would happen? In many ways, when you want to summarize it or paraphrase it, you have peace of mind when you grow up as a mother. I mean, when they grow up and you as a mother. No matter what you do as a parent, no matter wherever you find yourself, first and foremost, having grown up with the children and knowing that prayer is the key in the home, make decisions with your children. Make decisions with your children. Hey, my son, Timothy, there's no 50 pounds today because we have spent it on this. And so you cannot have the PlayStation. You need to give your children reasons why you're making decisions. You need to listen to the children. And when we do this, if there is no communication between the mother, the parents, and the children, then we begin to have problems. And you know, in your home as well, with the children, hey, boundaries must be set. We need to, from age, when I say age 0, set boundaries for your children. Your children from age 0 can control you if you allow them. Like the crying baby, like the child at the moment, any little thing, but from age 0, you can tell the child, no, crying is enough. We don't want it here. And I tell you, it works. There are lots of things that we do here, our culture here, that I made sure I imbibed in my children. One thing, till tomorrow my daughter will still, in as much as she's 30 something, she will still genuflect and greet any adult. Till tomorrow my daughter will still say ma. My daughter will not say eh. I'm sort of like bringing everything together. It's possible wherever you find yourself in the world. And the other thing, when I'm saying about boundaries, you are not allowed to bring a boyfriend to the house. Is that all right? No, I want to know who is outside. Bring the person to the house. Let me know. Don't go out there. Let us know what is happening. And nothing that is happening to you that I and dad will not know about or cannot know about. Come home, talk about it. Even if you have done wrong, come, we will talk about it and protect you out there. But never come home and tell us lies. And that still stands till today.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win. Keep up on me, come on.
Wow, you look great. Did you just complete with that? Darling superstar, great that day for lawn fresh, no matter what.
My son went to university, went to church, he beats drums, my daughter sings and so on. But you know what? The truth is I don't know what they do outside. But in his final year, after he whatsoever was, when I later realized that, you mean this boy? But you know what has helped? Each time he came home, remember, like our people say, remember the child of who and the son and the daughter of who you are. Remember at this age, remind them. And you know the other thing? Motherhood. The mother, the father should walk hand in hand. It's not a matter of, Mom, can I have biscuit? I'm only just using that as an example. No, you can't have biscuit. You've just had this. And that same child will go to the dad, knowing that dad is the lenient one. Dad, can I have some biscuit? And knowing how, and they know it's when you're on the phone that you really can't concentrate. They come and ask you stuff, and it's up to you to be able to put on the different thinking caps. When I say the different thinking caps, you know when your child is taking advantage of whatsoever you are doing. And that's why when he goes to Dad, can I have biscuit? Have you asked Mom? What has Mom said? I tell you, that child walks away. And when they now know that they can't come in between Dad and Mom, that's it. You are bringing up a whole child. Final year, what was my son into? He's now a pastor. He was into selling drugs. Selling it. He wasn't taking it, but selling it. Still even in the uni. I'm trying to instill something to parents out there. That the greatest thing you do, everything your children do, them over to God. I'm praying. And he was not
for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's fighting each other, let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are, put Nigerian first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's be together.
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men...
One, I was ignorant of them. Two, if I was there and everyone has been looking up to me, who was I going to talk to? There was no one to talk to. So I wallowed in it alone. I made mistakes. But the most important thing to me at that time were those two children. Every other thing happening around me meant nothing. So, the other challenges that I could have sought for help and assistance from the governmental bodies, I never did. So that made things more difficult for me. After I have been through it and scaled through it, when you're going through your challenges, that is when you find God brings somebody that's going through the same thing like yourself your way. And it begins to seem you get yourself out of what's happening in your life. So if you are that kind of a person, to help the other person. And you begin to learn along the way. So after a year of this turbulent time, I thought, for me to go through this, there are lots of women out there that are going through so much, and they, especially our people, when it's mental issues or no one wants to talk or any issue. Your marriage is perfect. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to even share it with anybody. I'm okay. And they put on their lipstick. They put on their makeup. That's what birthed Women's Hope Forum. Apart from other things we do in the community, biannually, we have a conference whereby we have, it's like a talk show, but then much more than that. We have panelists of that, we have that which encompasses different professionals. And we also have spiritual bodies. We come in, questions are set. The people that are coming that have come for the conference have their questions set. That within these questions you have things doing with parenting, things doing with the children in school, things doing with the health, things having to do with your finances, things having to do with divorce, things having to do with adultery, different things, name it. And that's where it's where we have a real talk. When you say my people say you pour the whole thing down and you pick up the pieces again. And on such days, when we have these conferences, people live relieved, and then we in the organization begin to help these people to find ways to go to the different professional bodies that will help them with their problems, and we do have counseling as well. So that's what the organization is all about. Apart from the fact that we know that dementia, Alzheimer's is one thing that no one wants to hear about, losing loss of memory. So we work with them. We work with the things happening in the community wherever there is a need for help. First and foremost, I know that there is an adage, there is a proverb, there's a phrase that's been said all over the world that the children are the future of tomorrow. The children are the future of tomorrow. If you have a child, you see, we went somewhere today, and by the time you see, the question that the DPO, put it DPO, because yes, you've talked good parenting, because if there was good parenting, I want to put it that way, inverted commas, open and close, if there was good parenting, that child at that age will not be where he is today. The DPO asks questions that, is your child imbecile? Is your child mentally derailed? Is your child, if you're asking, and the man said no. And the father said, but what about all these things he's doing? What are the things he's doing? Siphoning father's money from the account. Whatsoever it is then that has had to pay millions. The child knowing taking the father's phone and calling all the father's friends and taking money from them. Father has had to pay debts. Has good parenting gotten that child to that place? No, of course. And what I believe that is because it's an only child. A lot of our parents, when they have an only child, let the child and allow the child to do whatsoever. They get whatsoever they want. No, a child is not meant to get whatsoever they want. A child from birth should realize, Mom, I'm hungry. From the whining and the crying, it's you, the mother, that knows, because you've given the baby food 2 hours before the time or an hour before that time. So you are to make your child realize that this is it for the future. For the future to be able to know that there are times when you get no for an answer. There are times when, in as much as you get yes for an answer, you don't get yes immediately at that time. The nation starts with the family. It is from the home that the child begins to know the left from the right, what is good and what is not good. If you have not allowed your child to know this, then what extends to the community? In essence, what I am trying to put out there is this. You have someone from house A, house B, house C, house D, are different families. And they all come together. Their children come together. And they are being brought up in the way that they should go. What happens? What happens to that community? Do we begin to have armed robbers? Do we begin to have rapists? Do we begin to have the different vices that we have all over the nation? No, of course. And that is nothing else but what we call good parenting. Mothers out there, I want you to know this. There's something that has been said that the good child is for the father and the bad one is for the mother. You find that a lot of the men, the bad ones, what happened? It's your child. It's your child. But I was in a taxi 2 days ago, and the father proudly was going, "That's my son. That's my son." Yes. Now the nation will appreciate a child that has been brought up properly in the fact, when I inverted commas again, good parenting is such that feeds the nation at large. It feeds the community, the immediate community. It feeds the city. It feeds the towns, goes to the other countries, and then the nation at large. Having that in the nation, we find that we need to give kudos to the good moms out there. Moms, everything lies in your hands. And I appreciate all women out there for the great job, irrespective of the challenges that they're going through. They're still doing a great work.
Exceptional mom, shape the future.
Our parental tip for the week is
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues, accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Fighting each other, let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, you're fighting for religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are, put Nigerian first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's be together.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be. Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
As it is widely known that power is the propelling force of industrialization, apart from powering the factories, this plant will also boost the national grid. To complement the federal government agricultural revolution, the governor has constructed a cocoa processing factory, rice processing factory, and a rice seedling producing plant. A garment factory, which was commissioned by His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, in 2016. The factory is the biggest globally, seating over 500 workers at a shift. This factory partners the Central Bank of Nigeria Anchor Borrowers Project.
In terms of size, and having looked at what they also have produced in terms of what they're able to produce and the attention that's being given to the entire process, I would say that, without doubt, it can compete with any garment factory in the world.
We have over 500 here. With every turn you take here, you see an embroidery machine. I'm blown away.
In the same vein, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, during
delivering credible, reliable, acceptable and verifiable population and housing figure is the key objective of the trial census. The ongoing dress rehearsal by the National Population Commission is expected to provide a good foundation for the smooth conduct of the 2023 census. The trial census, which began on the 13th of July, is on course in selected local council areas nationwide, with facilitators, supervisors, and enumerators working according to the program schedule. With the progressing exercise in Borno having peculiar challenges of insecurity and varying difficult geographical terrain, how is the journey so far? How will the trial census impact on the outcomes of the forthcoming census in 2023? This is our focus this afternoon on Panorama from the studios of NTA Maiduguri. I am Abubakar Musa. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government has given... Okay, I think I'll have to take that again. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government has given approval for the reform initiative for the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON. The minister announced this at the 49th Annual General Meeting of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria in Lagos. Anthony Forson completes the story.
In his paper titled The New World Order, Lai Mohammed disclosed that the reform initiative is to strengthen the advertising ecosystem, encourage inclusiveness, as well as attract investment to the industry.
My presence here underscores the vital role and stature of the advertising industry to our economy, to our creative industries, and to the government's efforts at providing the enabling environment and regulatory tools necessary for sustained growth in every productive sector of the economy. We believe professional bodies such as the AAAN need the vital support of the government to be able to proffer the best, most effective, and unique solutions for the unique challenges that confront our nation in these very difficult times.
And as the world, he noted, is rapidly changing in its dynamics of opportunities and risks, relating with consumers in a data environment will bring brand consumers closer.
The same factors that have made this the best time for the economic exploitation of the creative sector are the same factors that have also created a great deal of competition. It's also this new opportunity of talking directly with consumers in a data-enabled environment that has taken brands and entrepreneurs closer to their consumers more than ever.
I can tell you and testify today that behind the scene, the Honorable Minister has worked tirelessly for our industry in support of some of our policies. Right now, we have the APCON law in almost the final stages, and he has been single-handedly instrumental in making sure that that law sees the light of day. So, Honorable Minister, Sir, Your Excellency, I think you've done us proud, and you've supported us in more ways than one, and we look forward to more support coming from your ministry.
The minister was accompanied by APCON Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Olalekan Fadolapo and the Director General NTDC, Folorunsho Koka. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
African Development Bank Group, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has given strong assurance to U.S. investors that Africa is a secured, competitive and profitable market for investment. Adesina was speaking at the U.S.-Africa Business Summit in Marrakesh, where he told American investors to see Africa as a logical investment destination and to engage with the continent in win-win partnerships. Justin Ben Uni completes the report.
Africa is ready. The U.S. is ready. Let us turn conversations into commitments. Let us turn commitments into investments.
More than 400 business and government representatives hinged discussions on building stronger U.S. and Africa trade, investment and commercial ties as the U.S. Corporate Council on Africa partnered with Morocco to organize the summit under the theme Building Forward Together. The event presented an opportunity for the African Development Bank's head to bear his mind that despite the disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on economies, the number of private equity deals in Africa increased from 230 in 2019 to 255 by 2020.
Africa, ladies and gentlemen, therefore offers a very profitable investment destination. Savvy investors know.
The AFDB president invited American businesses to invest in the opportunities created by the African Development Bank Group's $1.5 billion African Emergency Food Production Facility, designed to ease the impact of the current global food crisis worsened by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
Here in Nigeria, from Marrakesh, the federal government has reiterated commitment towards developing a harmonized national identification system for national development. The pledge was made when a delegation of the Nigeria Digital Identification for Development Project visited the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Mitari Ipe will now tell us more.
More than 13 public institutions independently provide various forms of identification services which are yet to be harmonized. But most Nigerians want a national database that would properly aggregate and keep accurate data of citizens. The World Bank's Digital Identification for Development project supports 49 countries, including Nigeria, with counterpart funding towards achieving digital identification and civil registration ecosystems. The Nigerian office is working with NIMC and the National Population Commission to digitize and harmonize all civil registrations in the country,
including digitizing the registration of births and deaths, capacity building, and a review of their legal and institutional frameworks. we appeal to the SGF to please help to open doors of all relevant public institutions for the project. This introduction will not only strengthen the project stakeholders' engagement, but will induce high-level buy-in on the project and its goals.
The delegation is assured of the federal government's support towards the realization of the project.
We cannot use the identification cards beyond the immediate domains of where they were created. But Nigeria needs to go beyond this. When you hold a national ID, you should be able to use it across board.
A unified national identification system is expected to help mitigate insecurity, enhance ease of doing business, as well as access to social services. In Abuja, Mithaire Ikben, NTA News.
In a week to the completion of the trial census, National Population Commission, Borno State, is making concerted efforts to ensure success of the exercise, despite an attempted attack last Tuesday on Gala local government, one of the council areas selected for the dress rehearsal. The NPC, Borno State, says safety of staff and completion of the trial census remain key priorities. Here is an update on the exercise.
The trial census is a gateway and preparatory ground for a successful 2023 National Population and Housing Census, coming 16 years after the last exercise. Here in Borno, the NPC and other stakeholders placed all hands on deck to ensure a seamless trial census, taking into consideration security concerns and other challenges, especially terrain.
It was a hit-free exercise both in Biu, Haul and Chibok. These are some of the areas I visited, and from the look of things now,
officials of the National Population Commission, Borno State, led by the Federal Commissioner Isa Audu Buratai, have been working assiduously in ensuring success of the trial census across 9 local governments of Borno since commencement of the exercise on 13th July this year, towards meeting deadline of completion, which is 30th July 2022.
Been so good. Alhamdulillah, all is going well. We are having a maximum cooperation from the NPC and the households, the family, and everything is okay so far.
We are thankful because they are very, very cooperative. They cooperate with whatever we ask them. It was perfect. They are very, very aware of the census, trial census.
We are doing well. They are so excited, happy, and rest. We are happy too.
The exercise, which is currently in its 3rd stage that has to do with persons enumeration, can best be described as a success story following the overall cooperation being given to enumerators by residents. The NPC, Borno State, is now looking forward to moving to the next stage of the trial census, which is going to be a mop-up exercise.
Now, taking place nationwide is the detailed and comprehensive test of the upcoming 2023 census. The dress rehearsal encompasses logistical management, questionnaire design, format and administration, field work, data processing, tabulation, as well as analysis, among other activities. With me in the studio to discuss the ongoing trial census exercise is the Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission for Borno State, Isa Audu Buratai. Sir, we're glad to have you in our studio this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I must confess there is no better time to have you in the studio than now because of what we are about to discuss.
Yeah,
let's now get down to the main business of the day. Based on the trial census schedule, by now the exercise has gone a significant length. How has it been so far with the modern tools used by the National Population Commission?
Now, thank you very much. The trial census was supposed to take place in 4 stages within the time frame of 10 to 15 days. First stage was supposed to be the verification and house listing. The second stage is the validation. The third stage is the persons enumeration, where field workers are expected to go to houses and enumerate the persons found physically present in the houses, and in the process ask questions. The answers to these questions will form part of our data that the government will use in planning and development. And the final stage is actually the what we call mop-up census. The idea is to mop up those areas that for one reason or the other we are not able to capture them during the exercise. These are the 4 stages. And in Borno State, we're happy to have gone well.
Right.
We're satisfied. We've gone around to monitor the exercise, and we're satisfied with the exercise so far.
All right, it's good to hear that. Okay, Federal Commissioner, considering the peculiarities of Borno State, especially the security and varying geographical terrain, how have you been able to surmount all these challenges?
Well, first of all, we must thank the military. We work hand in hand with the theater command here in Borno State. They gave us the security cover, and we were able to move from locality to locality. Not for this trial census, but we started about 2 years ago. You could recall we demarcated almost all the local government areas in Borno State except Abadan, and of course some other localities that we could not access due to the insurgency. But on the whole, we have demarcated about 26 local government areas, and it's still going on. And we were able to do that with the support of the military. They gave us the security cover, and we moved to all the localities. We must thank the governor of Borno State also, Professor Babagana Umar Azuli. He gave us the logistic support. He directed the local government chairman to give our field functionaries all the desired support, accommodation, feeding. We also enjoyed the support of the traditional rulers, the Sheikh of Borno, all the emirs. They were at hand to support our field functionaries, and they felt at home. They gave us a guide to assist our field functionaries. I must also commend the communities themselves. They did well. No one wanted, they didn't want to be left out of the process, and they mobilized themselves to give support to our field functionaries. And above all, I must thank the Almighty Allah for their protection. We've not recorded a single death despite witnessing several attacks across the state in the last 2 to 3 years that we carried out the EAD exercise, the first pre-test, the second pre-test, and the trial census now that is going on. So we thank Almighty Allah for that. So far in Borno State, so good. And we must thank the governor, we must thank the traditional rulers, and the communities themselves.
That goes to show that you've done your homework very well.
That is it. That is it.
That's interesting, I must say. Now, Federal Commissioner, how much support is the NPC receiving from stakeholders, government officials, and communities where the dress rehearsal is taking place?
Like I said, we've received the maximum support from the military. The governor also supported us, and his support he had always been at hand to support the National Population Commission. He directed all the local government chairmen of Borno State to give us maximum cooperation, without which we wouldn't have gone anywhere. The traditional rulers accommodate most of the field functionaries in all the local government areas. Since we started the EAD, the communities also have done their best. So with that, we were able to succeed because of the support we received from the stakeholders. And we must thank the governor in particular for his cooperation and support to the National Population Commission.
Okay, we seem to be running out of time, Federal Commissioner, but I think we just have to take this last question. So in a nutshell, what do you envisage as outcome of this smooth and seamless trial census?
Well, we expect to perfect the processes of the real census. This is, as rightly observed, is a dress rehearsal to make sure that everything works fine during the actual census. So far, we have been able to test our maps, we'll be able to test our instruments, we've been able to test even the logistic support we're receiving, we've been able to test the performance of our field functionaries. We'll be able to assess the support we've received from the government, the local government chairman, the traditional rulers, and also these communities. So, with what we are observing and the outcome of this trial census, we're happy to inform Nigerians that we are good to go come 2023 when we would conduct the actual census.
Commissioner, we would like to appreciate you for telling Nigerians how far you've gone with regards to the trial census in Borno State. We appreciate you once again for being part of Panorama this afternoon. Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Borno State, Isa Oduburate. If you're just joining us, you're on to Panorama on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. Let's take a break now. More stories for you shortly.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Panorama. Let's move on now. Nigerian farmers are raising concerns over the recent situation as it affects food demand and supply. Consequently, rice farmers have signed a memorandum of understanding with international with a view to increasing production to meet local and regional demands. Musa Aliyu completes the story.
Nigerian farmers are making effort to boost food production to meet the country's demand of staple food as the world faces distribution challenges due to the Russian-Ukraine war. This is further aggravated by communal clashes, banditry, and other environmental factors in other parts of the country. To this end, farmers under the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria have signed a memorandum of understanding with some international organizations with a view to boosting their production.
By the time Nigeria gets it right, we all know that the whole of West Africa and Africa gets it right. And that is why Syngenta concentrated on giving us a helping hand to see how we can maintain the successes we have achieved in the area of food security.
Farmers will be trained on smart agriculture, which will boost rice production not only for local consumption, but for markets across West Africa.
It provides them a greater appreciation of the technical issues associated with water resource management, pest and weed control, and optimizing the potential for rice production in Nigeria.
The training taking place in Abuja also highlighted the need for not only Nigeria, but West African countries to strategize and overcome overdependence on importation. Stakeholders say ECOWAS member countries can learn from the rice revolution of Nigeria.
We are here to really work with them and try to give substance to the program and the final touch of the design, the program collaborative efforts between these two organizations to truly implement the phase 2 of the rice revolution program of Nigeria.
This is the second capacity building workshop for rice farmers with a view to increasing yield. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
Supporting farming activities has remained a top priority of Borno State government, especially in the post-insurgency recovery era, when IDPs are returning to their ancestral homes. In this report, Yagum Subukar examines effort by government towards revival of farming activities, especially with the rainy season picking up.
Major preoccupations of people of Borno has over the years been affected due to activities of Boko Haram insurgents, thereby causing setback to the sector. As peace takes roots, farmers are now back to the fields. How much support is Borno State government giving to farmers to ensure food sufficiency and security? With me to discuss more on this is the Borno State Commissioner for Agriculture, Ali Bunu Mustafa, doing to support farmers, especially returnees.
The Executive Governor of Borno State procured tractors to be distributed to 1,000 farmers on loan, which is on subsidized rate. And these farmers will work on their farm, then also rent out the tractors and pay back the money. And he has also procured seeds, high-yielding, improved variety, which are performing on low soil fertility and also at marginal moisture level. The optimum yield will be achieved.
Okay, sir. Now, in terms of security, what security measures have been put in place to ensure farmers are secured while working on their farmlands?
His Excellency has deployed these agro rangers to protect the farmers to work on their farms. So they are deployed to all locations in Borno State, and the farmers are now cultivating their lands in optimum peace.
Government and other stakeholders have remained steadfast in supporting farmers. It is hoped that bumper harvest is recorded this year in the state. It's back to you in the studio.
Very well, Yagum. So let's talk health now. World Health Organization and partners are sustaining enlightenment on causes and preventive measures as best ways to combat the escalation of COVID-19, cholera, and monkeypox, among other diseases of contemporary times across the state. It is against this backdrop that the World Health Organization flagged off a 30-day house-to-house awareness for residents of Bulunkutu, a densely populated community in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Jedwa Jesni will now bring us more details.
The World Health Organization has over time sustained campaign on COVID-19 prevention through provision of personal preventive equipment to health institutions and other organizations. This time, the WHO is championing creation of awareness on the need for residents to be vaccinated, alongside maintaining a clean and hygienic environment to prevent outbreak of cholera and monkeypox, as recorded in other local governments of Borno State.
Of recent, we have other public health diseases that are also emerging, like monkeypox, which has been reported in 2 states of Bay States in the northeast, that's Adamawa and also in Borno. We would like to enhance the awareness in the states and beyond with regard to the prevention of epidemic-prone diseases in the area. At least the 30 community health champions that are available at the moment, they are working at around 4 LGAs, this including, of course, GRA, MMC, and also MAFA.
Residents of Bulunkutu Salake community appreciated WHO for the awareness and assured to put into practice what they learned.
Mutane suka nuna mun cewa lalle su ma suna goyen bayan wannan saboda duk abin da zai zamanto cewa zai kiyaye ka ne daga wani cuta to gaskiya su ma suna son sa.
The sensitization campaign is expected to last for the next 30 days. In Maiduguri, Jadua, Jesni, NTA News.
And just before we leave you on Panorama, don't forget to always stand with the Nigerian Television Authority in winning the war against rape and rapists. Always be a star in that regard. And that is how it has been on Panorama from the studios of NTA Maiduguri this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Till we come your way again some other time. Do have a nice day.
Seven days a week,
You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Extreme weather events are impacting several countries of the world, unleashing unprecedented devastation on homes, public places, and resulting in huge economic losses as well as fatalities. This is Environment Matters, reaching you from the network services of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. I'm Onengiye Fineface.
There's nothing better than the roar of your fans. But in Nigeria, there's a roar that will not be heard again. With fewer than 50 lions left in the wild, they could be extinct in the next few years. From loss of habitat and prey, and snares set for illegal bushmeat. Please say no to illegal bushmeat, and let's keep the roar alive for Nigeria. Poaching steals from us all.
In Australia, flood is inundating homes after days of torrential rain in Sydney, which caused rivers to swell and pour over roads and into suburban streets. Thousands of people on Australia's east coast fled their homes as torrential rains tracked north after unleashing floods that submerged communities, roads and bridges under mud-brown water. Authorities warn that rising rain, swollen rivers still posed danger despite easing rainfall in the city. In Nicaragua, Central America, Residents on the coast of the Atlantic are taking shelter as tropical storm Bonnie barrels towards shore. Locals are forced to leave their belongings behind as they scramble to safety from the raging storm. And elsewhere in Pakistan, frequent, intense heat waves linked to climate change are causing three of the world's most spectacular mountain ranges to melt. The Himalayas, Hindu Kush and Karakoram, forming the largest reservoir of ice outside the poles in Pakistan's mountainous north, which is home to more than 7,000 glaciers, are fast dissolving. Now, melting glaciers swell lakes, which then burst their banks and unleash torrents of ice, rock, and water in events known as glacial lake outburst floods. A similar collapse of glacier is impacting the Italian Alps, which has left people dead and others injured. The disaster, which occurred after a record temperature of 10 degrees Celsius at the top of the glacier, is linked to deteriorating environment and the climatic situation, especially global warming. While glaciers are melting, some parts of Italy's Po River are drying up due to worsening droughts that has plagued the Po Valley in recent weeks. Meanwhile, Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States that stores water for tens of millions of people in the Southwest, is shrinking at a terrifying rate and now stands just 1/4 full. Climatologists say 2 decades of drought is not unheard of in the western United States, but combined with human-caused global warming, it is transforming the region.
You know, I mean, every day someone's ripping a drive off because last week, where there was no rock, now, you know, it's a foot down or 2 feet down within a week or two. And so things are exposed. So, you know,